Morning, everybody. Thought I'd do a quick video this morning. Uh, had a semi intervention yesterday. Um, fella I met playing golf. What the heck was that? Fella met playing golf. Came over and we had a beer and talked, and I come in the house and I come back out. I hear Alan going, and in the Bible, and I'm like, okay, so Alan is going down that road, because I just met the guy. I don't know if he's Catholic, Baptist, if he even believes in God, right? So so we start talking premillennialism to him, and he's Pentecostal or Church of God or something. I don't. Alan knows. They clarified that before I got out, but he thinks we're crazy. Oh man, he thinks we're crazy. I've heard about people like y'all. I just ain't never met one, and we're just like, hey Lee, how's it going, buddy? And so we're like, hey, here it is. Or just think about it. Read the scriptures. I have, man. I know what's going on. these are the times. It's happening. He's gonna return. We're just like, what if he's already returned? Oh, there's no way. So I sent him a video, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. We didn't even get to flat Earth. Just before he pulls out, we holler at him. Sorry. He gets in the truck. We go, oh, and by the way, the Earth is flat. He jumps out. He's, what? I suppose those pictures are lies. Yeah, that's it. Let me get the dog. Hang on. Come on, Bob. You ready? Come on, buddy. Come on, Fred. so yeah, he's like, so are those pictures lies? Yes, they are. Yeah, they're all fake. What? And I'm like, remember the Bible? The Lord, said there's firmly on its pillars. Set a ball on a pillar. And he's like, oh, whatever. Well, this guy, he doesn't listen to anything we say. He's one of those, and you're in that predicament with those kind of people when he laughs at what we're saying. It's wrong, maybe borderline evil, what we're saying. Yet he turns around and says, when I was a kid, 9, 10 years old, he was saved, he was washed in the blood, he was baptized. And then he starts speaking in tongues. And he's done it many times. And it's been clear as a bell. And I'm just like, see, I won't look you in the eye and go, bullshit. I'll believe you for a minute. I'll believe you for 1 minute. Can you get excited and emotionally charged and really feel the Holy Spirit? Sure, yeah, I believe so, but I don't know about Billy, speaking in tongues down at the local Presbyterian church. Now he might, but for me, I've always just stuck with what the Bible says about that. If you're gonna do it, it better be It better be prophetic, and there better be somebody there to interpret it, or shut up. Don't do it. That's what the Bible says. Don't do it. Don't do it unless it's in the sweet spot. And people like that. And I don't care if he does see this video someday. I'm just gonna say, a guy like that says he's been preaching the word since he's 9 years old. He's had, he's spoken tongues. I'm not apt to believe somebody like that cheats at golf. They cheat. These guys are terrible cheaters at golf. And it's me. I believe in my salvation to the point that, cheating at golf is a sin. That's lying. That's cheating. Something that told me. I don't know. Good Lord, Fred. Yeah. It's funny how they see that and go perfectly sane, but you, what? And of course, me and Alan, you know how we know our points. We know how to get this across. I said, okay, all right, fair enough. Where's one of the 7 churches? Because right now, and if we were heading into the tribulation and the rapture and all that, there should be 7 churches on scene that people know. They're doing pretty good. That's a good holy place. That's a holy place, especially Philadelphia. That's a holy place. Yeah. That should be happening, and it's not. And so we just, ask him things like that. He says, well, maybe our church is the Church of Philadelphia. And I was like, whoa, come on, man. Really? Maybe it's your church? And we just trying to explain to him. Showing pictures, mud flood, fervent heat, melting elements, all of it. Because he knows the Bible. He knows the Bible. He pop off scripture. And sorry, guys. Or late. But he knows his Bible, right? He knows it. And he also sitting there. We're all sharing a beer, smoking some weed. And he's like, well, his beard is heavy. Okay. If you're not an addict and you don't have a problem, put that beer down. Put that weed down. Put it down. Just put it down. And I'm like, see, there you go. You're assuming I couldn't, and you're wrong. Because you don't know my intent when I drink a beer or when I smoke a joint. I don't know your intent. I don't pretend to know what your mindset and intent are when you drink a beer. You and most other people, when y'all drink a beer or smoke a joint, your intention is to get high, to alter your state. When I smoke weed, I'm going for pain control. I'm going for balance. I don't like stuff that gets me real high where I just want a pizza, man. I don't like that. That's not me. He's like, well, no, well, that's not what I want. We're just slaves to our sin and all that. Well, you can be, but I'm not. I said, neither is Alan. I said, we may buy a 12-pack of beer and it'll last 2 weeks. They're like, there's still several beers in there, and we're not big drinkers. Hey, I did, right? I did. I slept in a little today. Yep. We we went out and ate last night. Me and Kathy. It's funny. It's funny when you go places and you observe things. We're sitting there and we're on a patio. outside his house last night, and I'm sitting with I'm facing the doors where people come in, and Kathy and Alex are the other way. And first thing, this couple walks in, and they're doing the scan, right? They're looking, they're talking to each other. Lady looks at her phone and goes, "They said they were in here," and they're looking. And I mean, they're a couple of minutes, and this isn't that big an area to be scanning. And they leave. They go out the door, and I see them go back into the other part of the restaurant. It's a pretty big place. And 2 minutes later, here comes another couple, scanning, looking at their phone, going, almost the same thing. They said they were in here. Where are they? The husband pulls his phone out. He's looking. Yeah. They go out the same door. Not 2 minutes later, here comes another couple. Same thing. Like 5 times in a row, these couples come in, stand right there behind. They're right behind Kathy, not a foot behind her. And they're just standing there scanning the room. Flip, go out another door, never see them again. I guess whoever's telling them what room they're in, they're dyslexic because they're telling them opposite, completely opposite of where they're going. And you can usually tell when somebody gives bad directions when that many people show up in the same place going, what the hell? They're not here. They're not here. That was funny. I like that kind of stuff. And there was a birthday party going on a long table, man. There's like 30, 40 people there. And my back is to them. And I'm like, okay. I saw them come in with the balloons. Adult balloons, 31 years old, somebody. Black, silver balloons. And I finally told Kathy, I said, okay, I haven't even looked back at the party table, but I could not tell you if it's a male or a female birthday. I haven't heard anybody walk in and go, hey, happy birthday, Lisa, or, Skippy or nothing. I'm like, I can't. I've been sitting there. I don't want to turn around and look. I'm just trying to figure out whose birthday it is back there. Because you can hear them talking really good, but you just don't. You would think a birthday party that everybody that came in would address the birthday person, right? Oh, hey, yeah, right. You'd hear them. I didn't hear it. And finally, she just goes, I think it's a guy in that yellow shirt over there. I think there's just a dude sitting there. Kind of looking at her. Like, it looked like his birthday. I didn't have a drink in his hand, nothing. No hat on. They're not making fun of him. I don't know. It's just funny stuff. But we run into a real true blue cut from the Cajun slash swamp cloth. He almost broke into. I'm gonna tell you now that you will be healed if you listen to me. And I mean, happy birthday to you. Is it your birthday, Lee? Happy birthday, buddy. What's it like to be 28? I can't remember. It was funny that when I'm playing golf the other day, guy I'm riding with, John, he's funny guy. Like news guy. Oh, right. Yeah, the guy's just like, you couldn't tell if it was his birthday. It's not my birthday. My birthday's passed. But the guy says he's married to a 45-year-old woman. His wife's 45. And he's older than me. He's 60 probably. And I'm like, son? I said, the last time I slept with a 45-year-old, I was 45. I said, same thing when I was 23. That was the last time I slept with a 23-year-old. I said, you old farts. What the hell? Is it the money or is it the lover? And of course he's like, of course it's the lover. And I look at him and go, ain't no damn way you gotta be rich. Oh, and it's funny. I got a good one. Most of these guys are ex-firefighters. So next time I go play with them, It'll be my third time with them, so I feel comfortable enough. I'm just going to call a meeting and go, hey guys. You know, there's usually 10, 15, and get everybody quiet and go, how many of y'all are ex-firefighters here again? And have them raise their hands. And I just sit there and look at them and go, there's no damn way y'all ever had a fireman calendar, you bunch of slobs. Because there ain't no way they ever, any of them were ever on a fireman calendar. And I'm asking him, I said, tell the truth. I had an uncle that was a fireman, and he's no pinup, that's for sure. How much does y'all's fireman lobby to portray y'all all as goddesses, you know, Greek gods in the movies? How do y'all do this? Because I ain't met a fireman yet. No, I'm serious, just that I've met that looks anything like any fireman you've ever seen on one of them calendars. Right. Kathy's 5 years older than me, so last time I was with those age groups is when she was that age. And I was always, I don't know, I always went after older women myself. I didn't care for the younger ones. They didn't have much brain power. Couldn't hang around much after the mist had cleared. I don't know, just always after older women. Now, Freud would say, because I have mommy issues. That psychopath. Just go off some things that I was going to talk about. See if I can remember them all. saw a good clip. I left her. I was dumb. We usually are dumb at that age, Lee. We're usually real dumb. We shit on a lot of good stuff when we're young. I don't even want to get started on the things I crapped on when I was young, just because I was young. But I watched a good clip of Rand Paul, and it's just so sad. There's a few guys up there that actually, try. I think he's one of them. He's giving his talk, and he's just straight up saying, hey, during Obama, what was it, 2008 or 10, that Congress, because the Republicans were in control, they passed legislation that was a pay-as-you-go bill. If you don't have the money to pay for the deal you want, then automatically you have to propose a cut somewhere equal to it, right? They passed that legislation. It's there. They're supposed to do it with everything, and they don't do it at all. So he says, we've got like $5 billion sitting in a fund that was going to go to Afghanistan. Well, that's not going there anymore. He says, and you're proposing legislation to give Israel $2 billion for their dome, for their security. And and he's like, we've got that money. Why don't we just take that slush fund? We'll allocate the money for Israel, and we'll put the rest back in the treasury and close that program down. Just be done with it. But we can't do that here. That's not the way we work. And it is so true. They are just, it's so sickening what they're doing to us. And we let them. And when you see stuff, like I watched a clip the other day of a guy's calling Adam Schiff out for all of his lies during the Russia hoax. And this guy is so weak, so spineless. Adam Schiff says to him, well, okay. He gives him some time to rebuke. And he says, he starts reading out, are you talking about the fact that Donald Trump Jr., contacted Russian agents and was willing to take, it's just little bitty things that's true. He talked to them, but they were talking supposedly about the U.S.'s policy on doing adoptions for Russian children, from what I understand. But Adam Schiff, and all Adam Schiff ever does is say he talked to him and was willing to take dirt on Hillary Clinton. Well, that's no problem. But that's he throws that out, and this guy's like, oh, well, you said you had evidence that of this and this, and so he lets Adam Schiff just throw out another little piece that, yeah, that's true, but then what you attached to it wasn't. But he gets to say it, and everybody's like, well, yeah, I guess he told you, dude. Shut up. They'll pay the gold back. The U.S., we don't have the gold. We don't have it. We don't have it. Look up the documentary about Fort Knox. There's a good one about Fort Knox that they believe that now there's less than a fifth of the gold in Fort Knox that was once there. That there was a movement of a large amount of gold back in I believe it was the 60s or the 70s. And I can't remember if it had anything to do with us going off the gold standard, but I know there was a big to-do that was not completely explained. And supposedly, anytime they do show Fort Knox in the gold, it's just one little part, and it's not supposed to be this huge vault with all this gold. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. There was some there. Yeah, Lee. There was some there. And I think that was more of a layer, for the powers, just probably so they could go walk amongst it type of deal. Oh, right. They didn't care about the people. They didn't care about nothing. That's true. That's true. But I don't think it was the amount that is unproven to be held in our storages. When I first started buying silver, they tried to push silver certificates on me, and I was like, why would I want a piece of paper? Well, it's the same as, whatever. I got to go back and look at that building. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good point. And go back and look at Fort Knox and see what's up with that. That's a good one. Like, whose gold was it? Was it all just in the end Solomon's gold, or what's the deal? What's the deal? Because I've often thought, you hear and read the depictions of the biblical times, and there was a lot of gold. They made a lot of things out of gold. And then, you get to this point in history. Is that gold accounted for in any way? Is there even a close summation or estimation of what came forward? How much was lost? Any ideas? Because what we have right now has been, what do they call it? What's that word? It's where you, what is that? Can't remember that word. There's a technical word for when you take an asset and you borrow against it multiple times. I forget the word all of a sudden. But that's every ounce of gold has been leveraged, mortgaged, tenfold. It's our debt is probably at least 20 to 1, 30 to 1 to gold that we have. Yeah, they've been doing their best. Yeah, do you remember? I remember in the 80s when we always see on the news those pictures from China and everybody's wearing a mask all the way back then. You would think that there would be some solid evidence
on masks from just China, if nothing else. That they've been wearing them a long time. You know, and you ought to be able to get some information about, down to the, no doubt, other than new technologies that come out that may be improve the mask. Right. There might not have ever been any gold. That the pictures they did show might have been props. I mean, we know a lot of this now, don't we? I mean, we know a lot of things. Just because there was a picture of it doesn't mean that wasn't staged. Doesn't mean that was real. That's why when people like my friend say stuff like, y'all's friends do, what about the pictures? You trust the pictures. Okay. First time you saw something photoshopped, you were probably one of those people going, no way, man, I saw a picture of it. No, dude, somebody tries to explain you. They photoshopped that. Bullshit, man. I seen the picture. It was real. And I've had several people when I try to explain to them, look, the government / NASA / Department of Defense, those things, they've had Photoshop for quite a while, way before we got it with Windows and such. And they've been faking pictures. Hollywood has had that ability to manipulate for a long time. Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, I believe that's been one of their, I guess you'd say, talking points is that, hey, this is an act of war, basically. If you find out that they actually purposely distributed this, then you should call it that. And I don't know, is he wrong? Is he wrong? Somebody did it deliberately. Was it a country? Was it a conglomerate? Was it a shadow government? Who knows? Who did it? It's like I've talked 1,000 times about, said it once. My whole life, every decade, these elected people and non-electeds get in the most blatant trap, busted, caught, you did it, no doubts, there's evidence, and nobody pays the price. Nobody. Every decade. And at the end of it, you see a little blurb where they say, oh, by the way, that investigation wrapped up the other day. Here's the conclusion. Yeah, people did some stuff they shouldn't have, but we're going to fix it with policies. And you're done. Nobody ever gets in trouble. My whole life. That's all that ever happens. Even now and then, a white-collar dude, some banker, a hedge fund guy, he'll get busted. But that ain't nothing compared to our elected officials, man. Nothing. They smell good. What? They smell good for the camera? What does that mean? Who smells good? Oh, the stinking, rotting corpses that are our politicians. Well, Alan's theory, and and I don't disagree with it, is, when the devil's loosed and stuff, one of the first things that you see in the historical record of anything happening to China is when Japan invades Manchuria, and then before that, even when the West forces opium on China. That a lot of people contend China's still mad, and they've had a plan for 200 years. Death by 1,000 cuts type of deal. That the art of war. I told Alan yesterday. I said, think about that. My whole life, I've heard this whole thing about the book, The Art of War, Shenzhou, all that stuff, and a lot of the tenets to it. Not that I said, I think that's just all part of the programming, because we're so arrogant. We think, well, we understand the art of war. It's not going to happen to us. Our head's on a swivel. You know, they're not going to infiltrate us. They're not going to, you know, death by 1,000 cuts. Not us. Look around. That's exactly what's happened. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, y'all. Simple stuff like that. When you watch those crash tests on that rocket sled of airplanes into that brick wall down, they just crash like a beer can. There's no way they're going through that building. None, nada, no way. That was a bunker buster that hit that. They knew they had weakened the areas and stuff. They knew if they hit it right in the right spots, or the bunker buster, it would be all good. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It was the one of the things that turned me completely on that was when I saw the deal about the dustification of the buildings. That blew me away, man. I ain't never seen nothing like that before. Those pillars just falling, and as they fall, they just turn to dust. They don't go on down and crash and boom, you know, big slabs of concrete. Doesn't happen. It was crazy. Dude, I've seen the deals of that stuff being transported all around the country. To be honest, my whole life. My whole life. I've driven down many of highway interstates across many of the states here, and many times I've seen mile-long trains loaded with nothing but artillery or tanks or Hummers or, you know, whatever. I've seen it my whole life, and you know, yeah, I think a lot of that stuff is these days everybody's got a camera, so they're just passing it on. You know, I don't think there was anything different. We've always had the infrastructure set up here with all of our bases and all our fort systems, and you know, the military can just bam take over the railways at any time. They get priority. They just get to boom on through. So, you know, there's that. I don't think it's any different. They just, like Trump said something really interesting about as the jab was getting ready. He said he's already got everything set up with the military. All his generals have everything within 24 hours. They're ready. They could get the vaccine, the jab distributed, you know, throughout the country. It was in one of his speeches. He said, "We're ready." But, and logistically, our military is always has been supposed to be ready minutes notice, no matter the situation. You know, so Trump beefed that up and made sure everybody was on alert. And it look, you know, you could tell, you could see a little more activity. Oh wow, what's that? You know, because now you're on high alert. Now you're hearing, whoa, these people aren't cool. Our government is not cool. They might try to do something to us. What are we gonna do? So Baxter, you're certainly comfortable, aren't you, son? You are comfortable. Oh, off a different note, my old '69 pickup, and I put a get off of there, bug. But I put a for sale sign on it. Now I've had a couple of people stop, and you know the Lord works in mysterious ways. 2 houses down, I didn't pay any attention. There's a guy lives down there, and he restores old vehicles. And he pulled in yesterday and wanted to talk about my truck. Well, after talking to him, I was like, dude, I was thinking about selling it, but you think we can finish it off for that amount of money? And he's like, oh, yeah. He said, man, you're a neighbor. I'll take care of you, man. He said, yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it all finished off for you, man. I said, I'd love to have it as a daily driver. I'd love to drive it every day. Hell, the engine transmission ain't got 1,000 miles on it yet. Tires either. Tires may have a little more. I got them before I got the engine. But it's air conditioner works good. Everything works good. Just gotta, doors need rehung. They don't close real good. You know how old our trucks are. Kind of wind noise inside. Get that fixed. Get a paint job on it. It needs a new paint job. But that booger's bad, man. Everybody, people slow down going by my house every time. They like, whoa, look at that truck. It's a cool old truck. I think I've shown pictures of it before. 3/4 ton, 1969 long bed. Man, those things have the best lines on them down the side. They just beautiful lines. And oh, right. That boom, that action puts your mind in a state where it's now open to suggestion, and you're willing to believe and listen, and you know. Yeah, it's cool when, divine intervention. And it was also funny when we just started talking, his phone rang, and okay, hang on a second. He talks to this dude. Well, he's obviously into the local politics, big local school board, all this, man. He's going on about how all those people, man, that got picked, they're clones of his. If we got to get so and so in, we got to get some new people in there that are more of our mindset. And I'm sitting there, I go, I'll do it. I'll go shake up that school board. I'll go up there and be the jerk. I don't mind. I don't know these people. I'm a resident here. I do pay my taxes. I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna talk to him a little more about it, see what the deal is. Because it sounds like they got some liberals infiltrating our Christian conservative community, and it's not going good. And the guy was talking about, and I remember when I was in high school, I never knew where it was, but come football season and stuff, I'd usually almost every year see either West Orange Stark or West Orange or what is it? What was it? Orange South Lake or something like that. And they're from our area. And I never knew where they're from, but I always saw these football teams in the playoffs and stuff. And this guy's talking about, man, it's been 30 years since this, they've been in the playoffs, and what will I tell them? I mean, what will I tell them? I will tell them our education system is a hoax. I'll tell them this is no way to treat children. I'll tell them what I know, what's true. I'll tell them this is no way to treat our children. If we really cared about them, we wouldn't do this to them. And it is really more clear today to me than ever in my life, seeing how kids are so different, seeing how they learn so different. Yeah, oh yeah, the left has been coming in here, for a long time, and they've been wide open about it, man. And their strategy has been, they took over Houston area. They always get that. They took over Austin, San Antonio. They took over in Dallas, Fort Worth. The rest of the state is still pretty staunch conservative, but The big cities are all just like anywhere else in the U.S. Anywhere else. Man, you should see the people that move here from California. It happened in my hometown, Big Spring, all the time. The New York, East Coast, West Coast. These people would come out there. They did a search or something and found, one of the cheapest places to retire, and best climates in our area is one of them. And these people would sell a house in California or New York. Let's just go with a 1,500 square foot house. They'd sell one of those things for almost $750,000 sometimes, according to where they were. And they'd show up out in West Texas going, okay, let's see if we can find a house. And, realtors go, okay, what's your price range? And they're like, 600, 700,000. They're like, okay. So they take them and show them these houses out there in West Texas. And they're like, what the hell did we get this for 600,000? It's got a pool. It's got a theater room. It's got jacuzzi. It's got cabana. It's got a grotto. It's got, what the hell? It's on 4 acres of land. Yeah, they're just losing their shit. And they're like, they can't believe it. They just can't believe it. And they go buy the biggest houses in town. And they're like, we're the rich people here. It's like, yeah, man, you just left hell. One guy from New York that he was in the Air Force. He was stationed at our base in the 70s. And he went to New York and was a cop, and he retired and he moved straight back there, and he knew exactly what was going on. He went and bought one of the nicest big old houses there we got, man. He knew what he was doing. He had all the money he needed. He sold a freaking 1,000 square foot 2-bedroom house for like $500,000 in New York. And this was back in late 90s, early 2000s. He come out there and bought him a big $250,000 house, which at that time in Big Spring, you could get a 6,000 square foot house on several acres of land for that then. And he did. And then he started trying to get into local politics, and he was just enough left wing, trying to bring in these radical policies. And he didn't get far. He didn't get far in politics. Nice enough guy, people. He opened up a little restaurant, and people were going there. He had a little Italian restaurant, and people were going there for a while until he got into politics. And when he got into politics, he shut himself down. Right. And if you ever watch, my wife watches those renovation shows all the time. And the people in California are like, okay, we're going to look at a house over here. It's a decent neighborhood. The house is, it's listed for $680,000, and they pull up to a house that anywhere I've ever lived would be 35,000, maybe 40, maybe. And it's just, you gotta be kidding me. You people really, really pay that. Anyway, say little man. Will they listen? Tell me, will they? Will they listen? I don't think so. I don't see any reason to believe that they would start to listen now. I don't. Guys, you tell me. Are the lines ever been this clear between right, wrong, good, bad? Have they ever been more clear than now? That's definitely their side. That's definitely our side. There's no intermingling again anymore. I mean, it's even gotten to the point where the mockery that politicians make of religion, for all of them, God bless America, I'm for First Amendment rights and all that. Pandering, propaganda. Pretty clear now, isn't it? it's starting to be, for me, a lot easier to see a camp of saints coming together. The divisions are getting so clear. Yeah, 4,000 a month. Yeah, I had a friend of mine. His daughter, she was 19, and this was so. It made me sick to my stomach, but this guy came out as gay later in life, and he's married to this old dude, this old queen that was the vice president of women's fashion for J.C. Penney for like 25 years. And this is now this friend of mine, lifetime friend of mine's husband. So he gets his new stepdaughter an agent. Lady he knows, has known forever. They take her in, they get her trained up to be a model, and they send her to California to do modeling work. And he says they go out there and they're looking for places for her to stay. And the only thing they could find within reasonable distance of where she was going to be working mostly was renting a room from people who had a 4-bedroom house, rent a room from them for $1,200 a month. I was like, what? And he goes, and there's a community refrigerator. She can come and go as she pleases. Basically, just buffer. They let her know when we're gonna do family time or something, right? And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me! A room for $1,200. And I'm like, is she making $1,200 a month yet? Who's paying this? He was helping her pay it. And she did get in some JCPenney. She got a couple of ads. And it's just so funny when you know these people and you see them grow up. So I grew up as a little girl. And she grew up to be a tall, fairly attractive young woman. But she came out early as a Lebanese. And I don't know if she stuck to that, if it took or not. I never saw or heard of her with a girl or a woman. Never heard him talk about it. Never saw pictures or nothing. So I don't know. But they took her and groomed her. And when I saw her first shoots, it was like, geez, look what they did to that little girl. Look at all that makeup and her hair and the sexual, positioning and stuff they do. Just, ugh. This is a little girl I saw, from a baby grow up. Now, it didn't look like her. It didn't look like her at all. It just didn't. And that's what's crazy about it. And I hope she's doing well. It was her sister that I told the story about that had the premature baby that had the endoscopic endouterine surgery done and balloons put into his lungs to help inflate his lungs. Yeah, that was her sister. Yeah, man. But hey, guys, inflation is transitory, man. It's transitory. $20 trillion you're in debt has nothing to do with it. Nothing. But what's crazy about all this is with the money system, it actually works out. If you have a lot of debt and there's inflation, your debt actually gets to be less. Interest rates all go down again. They're going to be exactly zero here before long. But a lot of people with a lot of debt right now are going, come on, baby, crash. Ooh, come on, baby. If you'll just crash, I can wipe my slate clean and start over anew. They're begging for it. It's gotta come. Too many people, too many countries. Morning, dear. I didn't even hear you. I'm doing a live stream. Right. Did you sleep good?
Like Alex, I just hurt so bad.
Right. I'm sorry.
It's just weather.
Right. But it's the, it's digital's coming, man. Oh, crazy deal. Crazy deal. I don't know if y'all have heard about this right here, but Kronos company that does timekeeping and payroll systems for large companies. And every hospital I've ever been at had a Kronos clock-in system. They got hacked. And the hospital, this hospital, they're having to write paper checks and stuff. That was huge. It's not their hospital that's being, targeted. It's Kronos. It's a freaking flat earth thing all across the systems. And so many companies use that system all across the country right now. There's big companies not being able to pay people, auto pays. They're having to sit down and write out checks. People aren't getting their overtime because they don't have log of it. Oh, sorry, dear. You need some water? I guess I did use the last of the water over there for coffee. I'm a terrible husband. It is terrible. But yeah, that is huge. Look into that, Lee, in y'all's area. See if any big companies have been affected by Kronos. It's spelled with a K. Yeah, it's the timekeeping company. See if they've been affected over there too. Because think about that, man. There are people storming human resources and stuff going, hey, man, where's my money? I got to have my money. I got bills due. You can give me my money. I don't care who got hacked. I don't care what happened. That's what people are. I want mine. In a hospital like OR, I know that. There was people on call this whole pay period, and they turned that in, and they didn't get it. And they're going, where's my call pay? It's Christmas. It's what timing, right? It's Christmas. Everybody this week was going to go out and finish Christmas shopping. And how many people's monies were delayed? How many people's whole situation was turned upside down? There's so many people out there that live paycheck to paycheck. Come on. Who is it? 7? 7. Come on. Let's go, sugar. Come on. But there's so many people that literally live paycheck to paycheck. And bam, man. I told Kathy. I said, yeah, how many people are getting their rims repoed on Saturday and their weaves repoed? Yeah. Oh, for sure. So many people live beyond their means. For sure. So many people. They living in houses that they barely make the mortgage and bills each month, and they're eating ramen noodles, and they're driving nice cars, and they're living in a nice house. But man, they're struggling. And but hey, they like it when people go, man, you live in that big old house. Oh, you're driving a BMW? Wow, that's nice. They like it. They don't know that thing's running on fumes, and until you get paid, you may run out of gas before you get home. A Renault. Me and my cat gonna be living in my Renault. I hope you're joking, Lee. I hope you're joking, brother. I don't want nobody to be on the street. That's terrible. It's terrible. Oh, my sister-in-law, they can't have a Christmas party for their employees unless they're all vaccinated, jabbed, and they're all doing mask and social distancing and all that. Couldn't do it. So how are they going to do it? They had like 3 employees. They own a body shop. And they had like 3 employees that refused, right? So my sister-in-law, good for her. She went, and she used to work for a hotel. a local hotel there, and she went and talked to them, and she rented out their one of their conference rooms and is having it catered. So they're having a private party. So this hotel is not going to enforce these laws because they can come in the side door and go into their private party. And I'm just laughing at my wife going, jeez. And they're compliant. They're compliant. They didn't say, bull, we own this business and our employees and their family are going to come here and we're going to have a Christmas party. And it's private, just like if we were doing it in that building. And no difference. They won't stand up. They won't stand up and say no. They're complying. They go rent someplace where they have perfectly good space, where everybody's comfortable. Nope, can't do it. And that's Canada. Straight report, live from Canada. That's what's happening. That is, that's in Lloydminster. Lloydminster's where they live, and it's just getting worse. And they're all jabbed up. They're all jabbed up. They have their, and my brother and sister-in-law both are not in good health. They're obese. They're poor health, and they've been wearing masks this whole time. They are very compliant. They've always been very compliant. They love. I've had a few discussions with my brother-in-law about good. That's good to know. But I've had several conversations with my brother-in-law about politics and their socialized medicine versus ours and stuff. And my mother-in-law is a perfect example. How she was over the curve of the whole life system, and they weren't going to do anything for her at the end of life. Keep her comfortable and let her go. They're not going to do any kind of cancer treatments. And they were all okay with that. They were all like, well, what do you do? Because they've been programmed, they've been taught that, hey, it's for the greater good. We can't spend $500,000 on her care and she's going to die anyway. That's their mentality. Why would we waste that money? We can use that money on a newborn. Somebody that's going to be productive for us. True. He will take care of the faithful. He will take care of you. He will shield you if you're faithful. That old boy yesterday, and when we start, laying out proto-millennialism, and I went over the 3 creation deals with him. That confused him. Oh, that confused him. We even pulled up the verses and said, okay, man, nothing. There's nothing in this first creation of mankind, both male and female. There's nothing in this creation of Adam alike. There's nothing. And then the creation of Adam, there's nothing that attaches it to that, and Eve to that creation of mankind. Whole different here. What? He at one point went, no, see, that's evil. Twisting your thoughts.
No.
Like, no, dude, it's right here in the Bible. That's what it says.
It came off the thing.
Okay, I'll fix it. Well, everybody's getting up around here. We're right at an hour. I'm going to hit the bricks, guys. Hey, discernment, good vibrations, guys. Love y'all. Have a good weekend.